Well, hello everyone. The Ontario Gardener here, back with another PlateUp Halloween update. By the looks of this extreme automation, is this by any way practical? No. But proof of concept shows that you could automate all 5 pies. You have your meat, mushroom, veg, then you have your 2 dessert pies, which are apple and pumpkin. You can automate it in, this is a very complicated, tight setup, but as you look on the right-hand side, there's virtually, other than at the end where the teleporters are, there are no wasted spaces. Virtually, look at there's 3 wasted spaces in that block of 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 by 12, you could fit in all of it. Now, I'm using teleporters just to show concept that you could have these set up like this. Say you're serving in your dining room, and say you're using a big map. This is a custom map I use for some of my automations, because it's easier than cramming everything. But again, this is possible in a vanilla map. Everything that you see here can be obtained in a vanilla map, and if you're not playing vanilla, then that's fine as well. And then the way this is set up is you can basically have your frozen prep stations out in the dining room somewhere, or however you want to have them set up. It doesn't really matter. More so, this was just a fun one for me to do, just to show what is possible to kind of push the limits with automation. So if the title didn't give it away, these are pies, auto pies. Meat pie at the top, then mushroom pie, then you have apple pie in the middle, and then you have veg pie, and then you have your pumpkin at the bottom. The pumpkin pie is more complex because you have to de-seed and then chop the pumpkin to get into the crust. Apple pies are pretty straightforward because you have to the only thing you have to par bake them first. But as you can see, I'm going to turn this on in a minute. We're going to let it run, and then we can talk about it. It's going to be a lot of bing and banging around noises, but we can talk about how it works. It's basically all the crusts are being par baked before they get to the second stage of cooking, which does save time. You may say, wow, it's going to take so long for the system to activate. Yeah, initially, yes, but as you see, I have 2 frozen prep stations on either end. What I'm basically doing is this is using 1 bag of flour. Again, could you do this with multiple ones? Of course. Could you do flour with a mixer for each run? Of course you can, but that's not the point of this. It's how compact can you make this, how fun can you make automation like this? And as you can see, this is pretty fun. So basically what's happening, if you want to follow my mouse over here, you have your flour. From the flour, it goes up to your sink, which combines with the water, which makes dough. Now you could say, well, you don't need to do that for pies. You're correct, you don't. But a mixer, even a rapid mixer, it'll take significantly longer for it to make dough, make flour into crust, and then basically what we would do is take raw flour, would make it into a dough ball, and then make it. It would take significantly longer, and doing it this way is significantly quicker. So basically, it's combining with the water to the sink, and then it's splitting. This one's going to the top one. This is a rapid mixer going up, par baking the first one, going into frozen prep and 2 frozen preps. So at the end of your day, if this whole system runs flawlessly, you'll have 8 par bake crusts on the top and 8 on the bottom. Well, let's just do the top part first. Coming off, and it's splitting right away, going up into your meat pies, which are the easiest ones. Mushrooms and meat are the easiest, which you can have both of them here. Basically, the meat's being pulled into the combiner, being pushed onto the hop, cooking its second cycle. Mushroom the same way as going to your teleporters. And these teleporters, they're out of order just because of how I would do it, as far as you have your mains and then you have your desserts at the bottom, but it doesn't matter. Pushing into your frozen prep. Now your apple pies are actually in the middle here. So you're pulling off of here again. This one, like the way grabbers work, is a grabber will pull out of this. Grabber will pull like this. If I wanted to, this could pull off of this. I could save a bit of grabber space, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. This works just as well. This goes into your cooking cycle for your next dish, which is your apple pie. And if you remember, apple pies need a par baked crust, which is why we're par baking them in the beginning. Not to mention, baking them twice is quicker than putting them on one safety hob and doing both cooking cycles. In a sense, it takes longer than par baking it and then cooking it like this. Which is why you have it set up like this, especially when you're automating something as big as this. You want to have everything prepped as much as you can beforehand. Now, we're going to go into here. Now, you have it set up here with these corner grabbers. You can see how many corner grabbers I'm using. Is making this setup a lot easier. Of course, if you wouldn't have corner grabbers, you could do it with regular ones, but for every corner grabber spot, you would need at least 2 spaces for a regular grabber going left and one going down, and then this would just end up being way out here and not very practical anymore. But your apples are going right to your conveyor mixer. Again, do you need a conveyor mixer? No, but to fit it in this tight space, it's valuable. If not, you have to add some more belts here, which would be fine. Going into your par baking your crust, apples going into it. Here's you're making your apple pie, and boom, going to number 3, which is down here, which is part of your dessert pies. Again, the numbers on these are irrelevant. It's just when you spawn in, or when you get 2, they link to 1, the next 2 is 2, etc., etc. Okay, now that's taking care of the first section up here. So you have 3 pies going off 1 crust making setup. Now down here you have 2. You have your veg pie and then your pumpkin pie. So let's talk about those. Now, as I keep saying, is you could run all this off of one of these setups. You easily could, but is it recommended for me? No, definitely not. So you have your second setup down here, which is actually pulling everything down this way now. So it's a bit, you're dragging everything down this way. So again, the concept is the same. You're making your dough, you're making your crust, par baking the crust, or flash baking it, whatever you want to call it, into your frozen preps. And then here's where it gets a bit tricky. So here you're coming up here, and here's where it's going to split. You may say, well, this doesn't make sense. Well, it does make sense, because a grabber will pull off of a corner grabber. So if this comes up like this, it'll continue right onto here once this is occupied. So this basically pulls, you can follow my mouse to bottom right, pulls right across here. You get your broccoli being combined first, and then you have your carrot being combined second. Now, can you combine both of these on the hop at the same time? Yes, you can. But the problem is you have 1 slot, 2 slots, 3 slots, 4 slots already filled up. But the way this layout is set up is you wouldn't be able to fit this one down here. Like, this is just to make things compact. It works just the same, because this grabber will not pull a pie from here. However, if you don't have the broccoli on this, it will pull and continue through. So doing it like this is a pretty fail-safe way to do it, because it can have a little bit of glitchiness with your combiners trying to combine on a hob before it cooks with more than one ingredient. So this is a pretty fail-safe method of doing so. And again, this is going to number 4, which is going to your middle pie here. Okay, the next one down here is the pumpkin. This is the most complex one, because you have to deal with the pumpkins going into the mixer, and then the seeds being removed and then going into a jiggly bin. If you don't have a jiggly bin, an expanded bin would probably work, but you will, during a normal run, if you're actually using this for production, you're going to run out of space. Now again, could you link multiple bins together? Of course you can. If you use a compost bin, currently there's no automation to remove the compost bag from a compost bin to burn it, but that would have to be a manual thing. But you could have a danger hob down here or something like that, and you could manually take this out of here when it fills up, burn it, and then it goes away. But again, we're looking for full automation where you have to touch nothing, and then this is your setup. So pumpkins are going in, they're getting seeded here, they're getting chopped up. Again, rapid mixer you don't need, but for this setup, having a conveyor one would really be irrelevant, because you need to have this corner grabber here, which goes right into the combiner, which goes to here. Now again, going back to what I said before, is if you don't have smart grabbers, depending on your setup, as soon as a crust hits this, if it's par baked already, it'll just continue right on through. But the way this system is set up is all your preliminary vegetables and items will be on these hobs before anything gets to it. Even here, because so say you start at the beginning of the day, say you have crust in here, which is fine. By the time it takes it to get over to here, this action is completed. I've tested it and it does work, so it does work that way. Same thing with these here, nothing backs up to where it's impossible. And then the same thing up, these ones are easy, these are easier ones, because this is just one thing being put on, and you can do it directly on here as well. It doesn't really matter, because it won't back up, because the time it takes for these, even for this to move from here to here, this is already here. It's just the way the mechanics work. And again, if you don't wait to have all these filled up, it'll be even a better thing here. So anyway, this is the setup. It's 6 tiles by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 by 12. So that's a 72 block with a couple extras. Now, could you set this up differently? Yes. Could you redo this differently? You could use mixers, as I said. Yes. But for me, this is the automation that I want to show you guys. Now over here is just to demonstrate the pies coming off of here, going into your prep station. So without further ado, let's turn this monstrosity on. The bottom right hand corner here, it will be a little bit cut off because of the size of the map, but you'll get the point across. All right, let's go into practice mode. Now you're gonna hear a lot of ding and a lot of noise here. As you can see, everything's being prepped, ready to go before anything is even getting there. Now, if you kind of could think about it for a second here, that you do have your crust pre-made, right? So by the time these would come around here, this would be ready to go. These are instant. This is a little bit more work, but again, this is taking just as much time as it takes this. Here comes our first pie at the bottom. Where's it going to go to? It's going to go to your veg pie. Boom, veg pie. Look at, we have the top here. We have meat pies ready going. Now, the way the system is set up is that it will prioritize a certain way. That's the only thing here where you have to be careful. But again, if you got prep stations filled with pies, there's no way in the game to prioritize consistently how to set up a grabber from going this way and then this way. There's no logistics to alternate how these are set up. So regardless of how, if this is the last one in place or this, it doesn't matter. It'll always prioritize to one area. But since we have meat pies are going to be filling up any second, veg pies are going to be filling up very soon. These other pies will fill up. You just have to be patient here. But as you can see, everything in the middle is waiting to go. Okay, this is going to be the last one coming through with this. These will back up. This is already backing up, which is great. So after two more, this will back up. Now, you could say to yourself, well, if you have mixers for every station, then you wouldn't have to mess with having like a backup or a wait. And that is true. But again, we're looking to have this is as compact automation as you can get that I've found for this. Now again, is there a better way going 6 wide? I don't think so. I haven't looked into doing separate mixers, but again, this is using as few mixers as possible. It's like a 1 bag of flour challenge. There we go. Look, we have our mushroom pie coming in. We have our pumpkin pie coming in. And the same thing here with the apple pies. The apple pies will start backing up once the mushroom pies are done. But again, your dessert pies, they're at the end anyway. And here you have pies coming in. And as I keep saying is, you may say, well, this kind of makes sense. It's too slow. If you put this into practice, beginning of the day, these are all filled up. Where my mouse is, the frozen preps are all filled up. These preps are filled up. So you have 8 and 8 ready to go, and you have 4 of each ready to go. So are you going to be out serving that before customers even come in? The answer is no. If you have a starter, absolutely not. But the point of this video is not to say, no, it's not going to work, it's not practical. No, it's to show what automation can be done here. That's all this is. We're going to wait for the apple pies going to come through in 2 more rounds here. Now, the only thing that you could change is you could have, where these safety hobs are, you could have regular hobs and just having a jiggly bin here, pulling off ones that get burned. Is it necessary? No. Here we go. Look, our first apple pie is coming in. There you go. So feel free to interpret this as you like. Feel free to modify this as you like. If you want to get rid of the prep stations and squeeze in 5 bags of flour and 5 rapid mixers or conveyor mixers, go right ahead. That would surely be easier. Would it be quicker? Yeah, but again, what's the fun in that, right? So this is just showing you guys. Yeah, the bottom is a bit cut off, but you kind of can see how it's working. It's just the way when you go into practice mode, it zooms in a bit, and there's nothing I can do about that. It just cuts off the bottom part of the map. But anyway, guys, this is my extreme high automation. Is it practical? No. Is it feasible? No. Can it be done? Of course. Is it fun? Definitely, of course. So feel free to leave comments below. Again, don't leave me comments about how it's done wrong. This has nothing to do with speed. This is just showing what can be done with automation. And that's how I like making my videos, the ones that aren't practical at all, but they're fun to make. They show what's possible. You could even have a sushi belt here and have all 5 of these rotating on a conveyor belt system going in front of tables or something. The options are endless. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. This took a long time for him to make, quite a few minutes to get this set up and to get it all fit into this 6x12 area using what I described above with the frozen prep stations. As you see here, everything's backing up down here. So if you start the day tomorrow, you got 8 ready to go. You got 20 pies there ready to go. So anyway, guys, this is just a fun one. It's not to show that how you should automate anything. It's just a fun one, of course, which I like having fun sometimes on my channel, showing you some crazy automation things that aren't practical. But are possible. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy this type of content or practical content, please leave me a follow. Leave me a subscribe on YouTube. Leave me a follow over on Twitch if you like. I stream Mondays and Wednesday evenings at 9 o'clock Eastern, roughly around 9 o'clock Eastern, when I do a lot of PlateUp. I do GeoGuessr, I do some Factorio coming up, I do various other games that I also have down the line that I'm planning to stream for you guys. So once again, if you enjoyed this content, please leave me a thumbs up as well as a comment. I love getting comments from all of my supporters and all of my fans. I respond to every single comment that I get, either with a thumbs up, a heart, or a personalized comment back to you, because I enjoy talking to you guys. Now, if you want to catch me on Discord, you can search my name. I'm on the PlateUp Discord as a community support member. Hopefully, maybe getting a promotion soon. I don't know. I'm put in to be a moderator. We'll see what happens. Anyway, if you made it this far, please write in the comments below what your favorite pie is to automate or to play in general. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Take care now.